Welcome to Chaotic Crochet Chatter. My name is Jenny. I live in North Yorkshire in the UK with my husband and my son, and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk to you all about my recent projects, my future projects, my hand spinning of yarn, and anything else that I've been up to in the last few weeks.
Hello, welcome back, or welcome to Chaotic Crochet Chatter, whether you've been here before or not. How are you? It's really flipping warm here. I'm not enjoying it at all. It has been 32 degrees today. So I've got my fan on. I'm sorry if you can hear it, but not that sorry, because I need it. Otherwise I will just be a sweaty mess, and nobody wants that. It is Wednesday, the 13th of August, I think. And this is another late one. It is 9:45-ish in the evening. It's the summer holiday still. Our renovation work has started. There's too much noise during the day. But now the builders obviously went home hours ago. The child is asleep in bed. The husband will be asleep in bed very soon. The cat will probably want to come and bother me, but that's okay. So, yeah, it's just how it's going to be. This time, anyway. I think the next time I speak to you, we'll be back in September. It'll be term time, so we'll see how we go. Obviously, the building work will still be going on, so I guess it depends what's happening. Anyway, that's a tangent I don't need to go off on right now, because there are other things I do need to mention. I'm pretty sure that I've got another sinus infection. Depending on when you last watched me, listened to me, whatever, you will probably know that I am prone to them and that it's actually not very long since I last had one. So I'm a little annoyed. Just seeing how I go at the moment. Because, yeah, I could go to the doctors now, but it's only been about a week and they'll just tell me to go away because it's probably viral. So it's a bugbear. They know I'm prone to them. They know that every other one has been bacterial. Let's just not go into that because I'll just get annoyed. So if I'm a bit croaky or a bit sniffly or I have to stop and cough, that's why. Lighting, again, is all artificial light today because it is dark outside. Yes. It is getting dark earlier again now that we're near the end of August. That is making me very, very happy despite the heat. So if the light's a little weird, that's okay. No, that's why, sorry. I can't quite tell on my screen because I don't know whether you know this or not, but I am visually impaired, and one of the things I really struggle with is light. So I have to turn the brightness of my computer screen right down to be able to use it at all. So, and the contrast setting's up, and it's all very weird. So it looks weird to me anyway. So I'm hoping it doesn't look weird for you, but if it does, that's why, and I apologise. Sound might be different too. I am trying my little microphone again to hopefully cut out some of the fan noise and that kind of thing. I don't know how that's going to go. I hope it's okay. Not a lot I can do about it if it isn't. I have already waffled on for far too long, so let's go on to actually relevant points. I messed with my camera settings before setting up in the hope that my camera wouldn't freeze so often. That obviously hasn't worked because it's just frozen on me. So I'm going to start that section again because I have a feeling it cut me off and I don't know where. Right, as per usual, in the description under the video, checking I haven't frozen because it looked like I had, there will be timestamps for the different sections of the video so you can find what you're looking for, and there will be links to all the places you can find me, links to the Ravelry project pages of any projects I talk about today, as well as links to people and places that I mention as I go. On the subject of places to find me, the rebrand that I mentioned last time has gone ahead. I am loving it. The new branding is making me so, so happy. So you've probably already noticed that my logo has changed and my channel name has changed. I am no longer Stitchcraft Gifts. This is now Stitchcraft Studio. The podcast name has not changed, but just the channel name. And it fits. It's so much more me. I'm really, really loving it. I have also created, with the help of Shopify, a brand new website. My events information is still on my old one because it's a lot of work to transfer that across. I will do it at some point, but I haven't got to it yet. Everything else is on my brand new website, which will be linked. Please do go and take a look. Everything that I currently have available for sale is on there. So, and it's pretty and I love it. On the subject of newness, I think I spoke last time about the fact that now that I am recording every 3 weeks instead of every 2, the videos have been a lot longer. Last episode was ludicrously long. And I think it has massively affected my viewer numbers, which isn't a big deal, but it does bother me. Let's be honest. I'd be doing this anyway, even if I only had 2 viewers. I'd still be doing it. But I do want people to watch. So I outlined a few different options last time. I have decided that starting today, I'm still going to record every 3 weeks, but I'm going to record 2 episodes each time. One will be primarily to do with crochet. The other will be primarily to do with spinning. And then I will split other things as needed, as feels relevant at the time. This episode 48, is just about crochet, current projects, finished projects, planned projects. All I'm going to talk about in this episode. Episode 49, which will be released, I'm recording it today, straight after this one, but it'll be released the day after this one, I think, is what I'm going to do. Within a few days, anyway. That will cover spinning, a bit of incoming, shop news, life news, that kind of thing. So hopefully, as well as that meaning that the episodes will be a bit shorter, it will also mean that if you're only interested in the crochet, you can just watch the crochet video. If you're only interested in the spinning, you can just watch the spinning video. If you're interested in both, great, watch both. There is nothing to stop you, but it should make it a bit more manageable. You can watch one, then go away and put the kids to bed or have your tea or whatever, and then watch the other one another time. So that's that. I think that's everything for the intro. So let's crack on and I will talk about the project. Okay, first of all, I just want to very quickly mention that there are 2 projects that I've done very little work on. There's nothing noticeable to show you, so I'm not going to bother showing them to you. But just so I have mentioned them, the Granny Hexagon cardigan, the sparkly monochrome fade one I'm making. I've done a few rows on it, but I've not done a lot. I really need to get a move on. It would have been perfect to wear today. Never mind. It'll get done eventually. If I don't get to wear it this summer, it's not the end of the world. I'd like to. But I'm just not feeling it at the moment. The idea of working on it is not filling me with joy. And so I'm not doing it. The other one is the scrappy blanket that I'm making out of squares of corner to corner moss stitch in lots of different colours. I have done some work on that. All the squares are now the same size, which was a problem last time, and they've all been edged. And I think I've made an extra one and started another. But again, it's just a bunch of squares. You saw a bunch of squares last time. I haven't started joining them or anything like that, so there's no point showing it to you. I think I might start joining the squares soon. I was going to do them. was going to join them kind of corner to corner as well, so sort of start with 1 and then 2 diagonally and then 3. That makes sense. But I kind of need to know how many squares I've got if I'm going to do that, which means I can't join them till I finish them all, which would annoy me. So I think I'm just going to join them in rows, but do a continuous join as you go method if I can find a flat one, because I don't really want the bumpiness. I'll find a method and I will join them, and then I'll know. I think that'll be a bit more satisfying because I'm not just making a pile of squares. I've got a blanket that I can then add to, if that makes sense. So no idea whether I'll be able to show you that next time or not. We shall see. I do have a couple of finished things to show you, both of which are entirely unsuitable to the warm weather that we're having at the moment. Never mind. This is cheating a little bit because I actually finished it before the last episode. I just completely forgot to show you. So I'm not going to put this on because I'm too warm already. I have finished my big purple granny wrap and I love it. Don't know. Oh, I can just about get it all in shot. Kind of. So this is a free pattern from, I can't see it now, Annaboo's house. Will of course be linked, as I said. And it has been mostly made using my own hand spun yarn. It's very early hand spun, some of which was done on my drop spindle rather than my wheel e-spinner, and some of it was the singles were done on a drop spindle and then plied on the e-spinner. Some of it was all done on the e-spinner. However it was done, it was all pretty early on, so it's a bit rough and ready, not my best spinning, but I wanted to use it anyway, particularly because I am really proud of the colour management with this, in that I've got a sort of gradient going on with the purples. This last strip of purple along the 2 bottom edges is not hand spun. This is, it's not Malabrigo. It's another one beginning with M. I'm going to have to look it up. It's yarn I bought at Yarndale last year, I think, from a lovely, lovely gentleman. That's not helping me because that just talks about the handspun. Have I got the labels? Yes, I do. Oh, and there's a tiny, tiny bit of it left as well. It is Madrigal. Can't properly see because I've folded them up and then tied yarn through them. So Madrigal yarns. And this is the colourway Black Forest. That's the logo, if you recognise it or not. I have played with the settings. I don't know how well the focusing is working today. Hopefully it's alright. Yeah, there's a little scrap of the yarn left over. It's fingering weight yarn. I had 2 skeins and I've held them double. Because the handspun was mostly DK, bordering on Aran weight. I bought this pouch, by the way, at the East Anglia Yarn Festival in March. And I love it. I can't remember who by. Does it say on the label? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's Bellica Yarns. Again, I don't know if that'll focus. I'm hoping it will. I love it. And it is coming up to the perfect time of year for this. So yeah, I'm absolutely not going to use this for at least a month or so. But it is lovely and squishy and cozy. I'm very much looking forward to using it once the warmer weather hits. So, hey, finished. And it got quite a lot of yarn out of my stash. So, again, I think I've mentioned on previous episodes, I'm not actively trying to downsize my stash because I like buying yarn and fibre too much. Makes me miserable if I don't let myself buy things. But I am trying to be more conscious about using from stash when I can. And yeah, it's nice. It's just nice to go, oh, I've actually used that. I didn't buy anything extra. I've just, okay, technically I did, but not specifically for this project. I bought that magical yarn last year. And it just so happened to go reasonably well with the rest of it. So that's one properly finished project. And the next finished project is also a shawl. It's also a big, woolly, definitely winter shawl. Because obviously that's what you work on in summer. I'm always working in the wrong season. I don't know if that's just me, but I tend to make more winter things in summer and more summer things in winter. There's a bit of both all year round. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, you've seen this before. I finished it. This is the Stella Shawl, pattern by Sixel Design. Her work, her designs are, as always, just gorgeous. I love this one. This one's from her book, Dark and Dramatic Crochet Designs, I think it's called. It's a fab book. If you like gothy things and you like mosaic crochet, go buy it right now because it's amazing. And this is using up, but it's not completely using up, which I will talk about more in planned projects. But it was intended to use up the yarn from the Advent by Vicky Brown Designs in 2023. It is, I think I'd started already. I'd got to about, I'd done 2, maybe 2.5 repeats stars. And then it had just gone into hibernation because I was working on other things and it wasn't really the right time of year and blah, blah, blah. And then the lovely Laura of Folk Yarn Studio started a make-along called Advents of Summer make-along, which is running up until the middle of September, I believe. And I thought, oh, great. I want to finish that shawl anyway. And this gives me the perfect excuse to do it, to make it a priority. I knew I'd get back to it at some point, but it's felt really good to work on it and to get it finished, to have a completed project using a yarn advent. It's quite rare that happens. The yarn just looks pretty and sits in my stash, which is nice, but it's good to be using it. The black yarn is Yarnsmith's Merino. Started off being the fingering weight sock merino, and I held it double because Advent yarn is DK. And then I got really fed up with holding it double. It's really lovely yarn because it's merino. It's really it's a really soft merino, really smooth one, so it's quite slippery. And when you're using 2 strands held together, they both slip at different rates, and it just, it was doing my head in. And then I'd bought some of the DK anyway, and I somehow managed to completely and utterly lose the huge cake of the sock yarn that I'd been working from. It's turned up now. I know where it is. So I finished this. The last few rows, you can't really tell, but the last few rows, where am I? There, are the black as the DK instead. So same Yarnsmith's Merino, same colour, but DK instead of sock. I feel like I'm a bit shuddery. See how that looks when I'm editing. Everything's a bit laggy. Very sorry. One day I will have an episode with no technical difficulties. Seems like today is not that day. What was I saying? This shawl, I've loved it. I really have, especially So with mosaic crochet, you do one row in one colour and then the next row in the next colour. This is overlay mosaic specifically. And depending on the stitches you use in each row, that's how the design forms. The rows, when I was using the Advent yarn, are so satisfying. I've loved them. Black ones were a bit like, but I've got to do a black one to get to the next coloured one, so that kept me going. But yeah, the coloured ones, oh, it's just, I've loved them. And because of the way mosaic crochet works, the back of it is gorgeous too. Very differently gorgeous, but gorgeous. So it's very heavy. I can't remember how much yarn there is today. Did take a note. It's nearly 700 grams of yarn in this shawl. So it's quite hefty. Definitely a winter shawl. It's going to be so cozy. I haven't blocked it, and I've added tassels all the way around the bottom. I haven't trimmed them, and honestly I don't know if I'm going to. Froze again. I have not trimmed the tassels, and I don't know if I'm going to. I quite like them all scraggly and uneven, so I might block it just because that'll probably make it a little bit bigger. Actually, not that it isn't big enough, but I do like a really, really big shawl. So we'll see. I might block it, I might not. Either way, I'm going to really, really enjoy wearing it. It's probably only going to be worn around the house. Maybe when we go out to my mother-in-law's or to my dad's house or something like that. But I don't expect to be wandering around town with it on. You never know. Okay, I have another finished project. I think I've nearly finished this last time. It is now completely finished. This is the plant hanger I've been making for my friend Gemma. Again, the design is by Sixel Designs. Slightly altered, but not very much. This is her Skulls and Roses pan. And this is using Rikorumi DK. Again in black. There's been a lot of black yarn lately. And then this is dark teal, I think. All the details will be in my on the Ravelry page. I have the proper colour numbers. I do need to just tweak the cord a little bit because it's wonky and I want it to hang straight for her. But it does hang. It's nice and strong. I haven't tested it with a plant in it because I don't have one that will fit. Yeah, I've shown her. I've shared it on Instagram. She's happy. I'm happy. I love it. And I've got plenty of yarn left. I could easily make another one and still have a bit left over. So I asked if she wanted something else as well. And she said that she'd really, really love a cozy for one of the big plant pots she's got in the living room. So as soon as she's actually measured that, Gemma, if you're watching, measure it. And I'll get onto that. I don't know whether she wants a matching one or a different design. There are plenty to choose from. But either way, when I get to it, I will show you. Okay, works in progress. I actually don't, well, I've only got two, I think, to actually show you, because like I said, the other two are still downstairs. I'm not showing you today. Sorry, I've got a hair or something on my face that's tickling me. I showed you, no, I didn't show you. I spoke last time about the basket I'm making, or was at the time attempting to make, for Ned, my son, for some of his smaller teddies that get lost in his bed, because they all go to bed with him, but the tiny ones, he's a wriggly sleeper, they disappear off down the bottom and then he can't find them, and it's a whole big thing. So we have a little basket already for holding them, but it's old and floppy, and it's one that I made, but back when I was first learning to crochet, so it's just not great. So I said I'd make him a new one. And I spoke last time about the version I was making then and how it wasn't working out how I wanted it to. I spoke about why and said I was probably going to frog it and start again. I have done that now. I got Ned to change the yarn and gave him a selection, because if I let him loose in my yarn stash, he'd pick something completely unsuitable or something that I didn't want him to use, something that was too special. So they gave him my boxes of acrylic yarn and said, right, pick your colours, off you go. So we have got Stylecraft Special in Meadow, lovely bright green, and I forgot that the right word. No, that was the blue, wasn't it? Hang on. Yeah, that's the blue. That's Meadow. Lovely bright green. Flipping heck. And that's Empire. Nice blue. And then we've got Stylecraft still, but it's the Stylecraft Wondersoft Stardust, which is the sparkly one, in Poppy. As you can see, it's going to blow out a bit. Red never shows up well. It's a really lovely, vibrant red with sparkle that I'm hoping you can see. As you can see, it is attached to the work at the moment. And I've started again from scratch, and I'm making this up as I go, holding the yarn double, because doing this in DK weight held single would take forever, taking long enough as it is. Started as requested. Ned has been very specific with the colours, starting with the green for the base, and then the red's gone. The red for the sides. And what I'm trying to do, and I'm doing this completely self-designed, working out myself, is make a kind of cat cave style one. So I've got an opening here, and I'm starting to decrease now. Hang on, so that will kind of pull back and stay open. I need to do a lot of decreases, but that's okay. Still got plenty of yarn. And it'll have a kind of domed top going on. I don't know whether the blue is going to go. There might be a bit at the very, very top. There might just be a bit around the entrance. I need to consult the designer, the commissioner. So it's going okay. It's not quite as stiff as I wanted it to be, but it's all right. It is just about keeping it shape-ish. What I might do once I've finished it, I've got some spray starch. Sorry, my hair. Oh, between the heat and the fan being on and ugh. Anyway, what was I saying? I've got some spray starch. So when it's finished, I might find something to prop up the inside so it keeps its shape, and then spray the outside of it just to stiffen it up a bit. We'll see how it works out. Because I might, if I get the decreases right, it might be okay as it is. I want to make a handle for it as well so we can carry it about. He's a sweetheart. 9 years old, and he loves his teddies. It's gorgeous. Right, I'm going to talk about a project now that I think I hadn't started last time. I think I just talked about wanting to start it. I've started making my parasol. Again, I'm probably not going to get it finished in time to actually use it this year, which is annoying, but at least it'll be ready for next year. And I might even make another one. So I'll show you how it's looking in a sec. I am using a cake of Escape as well, which I had in my stash. This is the colourway Raspberry Rocky Road. Hold it that way. Just about to see the colour. It started off deeper in the middle. You'll see that bit in a moment. But that's the colours. Love Escape as well. It's expensive, but it's gorgeous yarn to work with. And their gradients, their colourways are all stunning, all of them. And I'm sure you already know how much I love a gradient yarn anyway, not just the Scapies ones, any long gradient. I don't know what it is, I just really love it. So something about them, I don't know. This is how it's looking so far. These are always really difficult to hold up. At least it's small at the moment. I'm hoping you can see the pattern there. It will look a little different once it's all stretched out on the frame, but you can get a good idea of how the pattern's shaping up. I've just completed the second repeat. It's going to need to be a couple more, I think, still. But that's okay, because this pattern, which is the Lotus and Blossom pattern by the guy with the hook, who I just found on Etsy. Didn't already know about them, just found it. They've written a blog post to go with this pattern that tells you how to increase it if you need to, which is brilliant. So thank you to the guy with the hook for doing that. Not enough people do that, but they have, which is lovely. And yeah, it's working out really nicely. Hang on, I've got something in my eye. Oh, I swear at some point I will get my act together. Although I don't think it's happened in any other episode, so maybe not. Don't hold your breath. What was I about to say? Right. I've got to this point. This is my second time getting to this point of the pattern. Except not. I'd got further, but with a much smaller hook. And it was very pretty, but the stitches were very tight, very tiny. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I wasn't enjoying it. And it was very, very slow. And obviously definitely just froze again. Sorry about that. And now the cat's going to start trying to come in a minute. I'll let her in a moment. Yes, each round is bigger than the one before. And so it was getting slower and slower and slower, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I got to a point, it was about this size. But I think I was on my fourth repeat instead of my second. And I just thought, no, I need to stop. I need to start again. And so that's what I did. And I'm so much happier with it now. Getting to this size this time around took less than half the time, and I enjoyed it much more. Do you still need, there we go, to just pull that hole close? There we go. Sneaked up the middle a tiny bit more, tiny bit for you. Not woven in the end or anything yet. I am mostly following the pattern as is written, because I'm not clever enough, I haven't got the right kind of brain to really tweak circular patterns like this. But it won't surprise you to hear that I have tweaked it a little bit. Only because the pattern is written in such a way that after each repeat, you fasten off the yarn, cut it, rejoin. I hate doing that. Really, really hate it. Especially with yarn like this where you don't have to, that's the point. So I have managed to figure out, so far at least, a way to just carry on without doing that. It does mean